YouTube mostly, folks. I'm at the caloric deficit is killing me portion of my strength loss, and today's workout was a tragic slugfest, a beating, brutal. This 195 pounds feels like a giant elephant sitting on my chest, but the reality of the situation is this is what you got to do to maintain strength and muscle when you're losing weight. Over the last, I got 5 reps on this. This is like my heaviest set, and the 6th rep I couldn't even attempt at all and just left the bar on my chest because it just wasn't happening. I probably shouldn't have tried the rep at all because I kind of dinged off the bars going up. You know how that goes when you lose control because you're so fatigued. But ultimately, 172 was my weight when I started my cut about a week and a half ago, and now I'm at 164. Granted, most of that, I think a lot of that is water weight loss, because one of the first things that happens if you do your cut right, at least the way I do, is I drain out a certain amount of my glycogen and supply and other water weight, and then I just don't refill it all the way back up by not supplying it. So that you lose like a lot of weight really fast at the beginning. A lot of that, I guess, is probably from eating less carbohydrates due to the lower calories, probably. Although I don't really reduce my carbohydrates that much. I reduce it relative to everything else, but personally I eat a high carbohydrate diet. I'm a big believer in that, but I also come from a background of distance running, which is not something I do now, but I do like a lot of elliptical and various cardio with no effort in my lifestyle. So that's something that is a maintained part of my lifestyle that impacts the way that I burn fat. Because you'll even notice here, I probably look a little bit skinny compared to like a week and a half or 2 weeks ago videos, because my body, when it drains the water weight, it starts burning fat really quickly. And I can lose, 2 pounds a week, 4 pounds a week easily. I have to kind of keep it under control by not dieting very low in calories. I'm dieting at 2,800. A lot of people will actually bulk at that amount of food, but for me that's a hardcore diet. Whereas you can see I'm kind of wasting away a little bit pretty quick. I'm not trying to get really crazy lean. I just want to get, the full sort of six-pack at its absolute leanest so that I can begin bulking through the summer and still look like I'm lean even while I'm bulking through the summer, by the end of the summer. And then I can let it get a little bit fuzzier into the winter when it doesn't matter in the world what if you got crystal clear, perfect abs. Although I don't let it get to even flat stomach. I try to at least make a few packs be showing at all times, personally. And that probably does limit my muscle gain, but I'm a personal trainer, so I want to make sure that I look fit always, at least. I don't want to, become a dirty bulker that's trying to maximize my muscle mass just because that takes away at certain moments in time to be able to tell someone that I can get them into shape, because they'll be wondering, why aren't you in shape? Because certain people associate a certain accumulation of body fat with being out of shape, which is not necessarily correct, and it's probably unfair. To be totally honest, there's a certain level of leanness that is a little bit less healthy even than being a little bit, like if somebody, has sort of that power lifter look, but it's not completely out of control, where they've got kind of a little bit of a stomach and whatever. That kind of person might actually be the healthiest, as long as they don't have too much visceral fat in their torso, compared to somebody that's got 6% body fat, when you can see granules and their muscles and that kind of stuff. That's not something you want to go and lift as much as you possibly can doing that, because it's not going to be possible. A person like that is going to be so... They don't have any storage of energy in their body. They have to really rely on what they just drank that second to be able to do activity on a certain level. So it's I don't know. There's arguments as to what's healthy, and it's probably sort of a middle ground. It's probably 10% body fat's probably healthy and good. You can roll that, but maybe 15% body fat might be better if you're an NBA athlete. Enough body fat to fuel you through a whole sports event, versus somebody who's super duper lean, aesthetically for competition purposes. Those are sort of arbitrary distinctions in a way where I kind of wish that the bodybuilding world would move away from excessive leanness. They should promote physiques that are, for a man 10 to 15%, and for a woman 14 to 22%, to where they actually I think more mainstream people would be attracted to watch the competitions because the people would be more sexually attractive to people of the opposite sex who are not obsessed with bodybuilding. And I think it would also kind of promote a healthier image and lifestyle because those bodybuilders spend a long time on diets that are really dangerous on a certain level. You know, like I personally try to be very careful myself because I stay pretty dang lean, and there are points where you really don't. It doesn't feel good to be that lean, and you're wondering why you're doing this wrong and stuff. You know, so it is important to keep it on a balance and let your strength sort of dictate the balance. Now, here's the hilarious thing because Roy, who gets these awesome shots by kind of like, he's kind of artsy with his thought process on it. He's going for the struggle face on this one and accidentally dinged, or actually knocked, bam, the camera completely out of his hand by accident. Anyway, here you can tell like the fatigue of the workout is really killing me. This is where, you know, the cost of the lack of calories is really destroying me as I'm trying to do a single set of 40 push-ups. And I'm having to rest pause possibly at the 25-ish push-up, which is pretty pathetic. As you can see, I'm drenched with sweat, which normally doesn't happen to me unless I'm burning fat, I think. So my body doesn't burn a lot of fat because I don't store a lot of fat, but when I do decide to burn it, it makes me drenched with sweat all the time, weirdly. But, yeah, so tough day, no energy. Had to push through. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I do appreciate all your time.
5 more.
Struggle's real.